Welcome to the energy update for the third quarter moon. This is the lunar week that we wind up the Virgo lunar cycle. It happens October 9th, taking us all the way through the 15th of October. On the 16th, we begin a new lunar cycle in Libra. So here we go. This energy is brought to you by the frequency of Cancer. Now, Cancer is the ruling sign of the moon. And when Cancer is the third quarter moon, it's known as the widow's moon. So this is the archetype that we're working with this week as we head into the ending of the Virgo lunar cycle that started on September 17th. So go back a couple of videos just to refresh what was happening in the cosmos and take a look at your own personal life. I like to use the window of my natal chart to see what was happening as the cosmos moved through my energetic blueprint. So this week is about letting go and reflecting. And you want to do both of these things because there's the third part of a third quarter lunar week is you want to get to the energy or the energetic state of surrender. And to get to surrender, you got to start first reflecting and letting go of what no longer serves you or your highest good moving forward. And so at the time of the full moon, as it moves into the waning phase, what's happening is there's an electromagnetic push from the moon, pushing your outer self back in to your inner self. Come home to Om within. And this is where you reconnect to the mother goddess energy within to rebirth yourself in the next lunar cycle, the new moon phase. And so take this week to start winding down. Finish projects. Don't start anything new. Wait till next week to put that into motion. Plant those seeds in the fertile soil. So this is when you want to clean up and check off your to-do list, tidy up, let things go, declutter, slow down, and start moving deeper within and feel more, think and do less. The more quiet you can become, the more likely you can move your internal vibration into the energetic of stillness, which is the most powerful frequency to align with new moon intentions. And so the cosmos is so nice. The moon says, I'll give you a week to slow down instead of an hour's notice. So take advantage of the knowledge and the rhythm where your body is already in tune and is ready after all the energy of this last 3 weeks, ready to go deep within it. So it's kind of similar to fall moving into winter, because in the new moon, you want to be in that more winter hibernating still state. But the third quarter moon is about fall, autumn, and just moving into the sacred direction of the west and reflection and viewing from your internal screen what has been happening in your life. Now go to my website, lunarladies.com, to review the last 3 blog posts, the new moon in Virgo, the first quarter moon Capricorn, and the full moon in Aries. And they will give you much deeper insights into how you can process what's been happening in your life. Let's move on to what's the cosmos have to say this week. Well, very interesting. So here we have a 17-degree Cancer, third quarter moon in square, waning square to the Libra sun. So cardinal signs. And then we have 2 more planets hitting cardinal degrees that create a cardinal fixed square or a grand cross. And the other 2 planets involved in this grand cross are Mars retrograde in Aries, squaring up with Pluto in Capricorn at the 22nd degree that, remember, go back to January 12th, that was the Saturn-Pluto conjunction degree. So very powerful. And when we have those squares, what we want to do is we don't want to get in the square relationship. We want to move the square into opposition. We have more room, more view, more perspective from the oppositional space than the square. So if you're resolving Pluto-Mars tension in your Capricorn, Aries ruled houses, move the Pluto aspect to the sun or I'm sorry, to the moon, because Pluto's in Capricorn, the moon's in Cancer. So you get a wider perspective. And if you're resolving the Aries or the Mars and Aries tension, move it to the sun relationship in Libra, and you'll have a much easier time. This is what I teach all my lunar ladies in the free community space, as well as the inner circle, which is the mastermind group where we work our charts together with the knowledge of the cosmos. Okay, so we have that fixed, or not fixed, a cardinal grand square, which is really, cardinal energy is about creating new cycles. And squares are about building enough energy to burst and bust through into the next level, like taking a quantum leap. Now, there, besides the cardinal grand square, we have what I like to call a God Yad Highway. It's two parallel fingers of God lining up. And when we take a look at the blog post this week together on the video, I'll show you it's a 2-lane highway. And I always like to say, in order to stabilize that energy, get in your own lane. Right? This is about staying in your God or sacred divine lane. Don't be looking out into the external world and merging with the pain and wounds that you see outside yourself. Because the third quarter week is about the external wounds outside of us. And we have to reflect into, how does that affect me? Can I release and separate from that so that I can gather my internal strength to be able to affect change in the next first quarter moon, when I can do that internal crisis struggle with my own wounds. But I can do that much easier if I've reflected upon it the third quarter square before. So gather what you can, and the best that you can, to be neutral to outside external current events. Because if you feel yourself being pulled into these chaotic spinning vortexes, you lose your center. So come back internal, find your center, view the outside world in the most neutral space that you can, because that, from that place, you can pause and reflect. And what is it inside your own soul, your own character development, that then can respond to what you view as an external reality. Because believe me, in this Gemini nodal wave time, there's multiple realities, multiple spinning plates, all happening at the same time at different dimensions or levels of awareness. And so when you look at one current event, within that current event might be the 3D view. There might be a 4D astral plane experience of it. There might be a 5D or more of a higher vibrational understanding of what that particular current event is all about. So start to practice viewing what you can see from one current event or someone in the public eye from a 3D perspective, a 4D astral plane, a 5D unity, more of a unity consciousness, and start to see it. And that allows you as soul to be more engaged rather than the separated self, the ego, the human being that is not in full awareness of its divine self. So this is the goal of the 2020 decade, is to merge with the soul self, to then rise from that place instead of the separated ego self that it lives in fear. The soul self lives in love. And so that's what we're asking of each one of us, is merging, releasing the ego-based, fear-based, separated self, begin merging and moving into the soul-based, fifth dimensional, unified self that views life through the lens of love. Cancer third quarter moon says, well, it's a widow's moon, so I have to reflect upon what I have loved and lost. So the widow archetype is, what makes a widow? A person who's married and the partner passes away. And so it's someone you loved and someone you've lost. So reflect upon, how is that showing up in your life? Where do you feel widowed? Or maybe you are a widow, right? Where your spouse has passed away, or you're a child of a family member, a parent that has passed away. So you see the dynamic of the relationship between your parent that's lost their spouse. So, and it doesn't have to be through death. It could be through divorce, separation, growing apart. These are types of where we're being asked to release that which we once was connected and unified, bonded, committed to. How do we let go and release? And so one of the do's this week is, if you love something, set it free. If it's yours, it comes back to you, right? Or to let go of what it is that you've loved. Reflect upon that. And when you might, in that reflection state, you might come into this place that says, I can't let go of this. I'm too afraid. What will happen? Who will I be? That's juicy content for you to then go, okay, I have to retreat and I need to explore this, and I might need some help, a teacher, a guide, a friend, a power animal, an angel, a spirit guide, right? There's many ways that you can process what comes up for you. Now, when we go deeper into the chart of the third quarter lunar week, we discover through the Sabian symbols of the Cancer moon and the Libra sun a message. And the message is about your authentic self. So I love when the Sabian symbols start to talk to each other and they come through I like to look at the relationship between the sun and moon first and foremost, because that's our external self, our internal self, our feminine and our masculine, the mother, father that lives within. And so it's a really powerful dynamic, the relationship between the sun and moon and you being the earth. And so we're looking at this really powerful direction of reconnecting to your authentic self. So go to the blog post, read more about that. But that's where the guidance is moving us as we head towards, a lot of energy that's happening in August or in October, November, and December. And so lots happening between now. We have Samhain, full moon on Halloween Samhain. So that's a midpoint of the sacred wheel. Then we move into winter solstice where there's a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius. I believe it's at 0 or 1 degree. It's right in there at the beginning. So it's really powerful, setting into motion the future for humanity. And so before we get there, we want to be working and doing our personal work over here that starts clearing and cleansing. Because remember, we go back to the new moon in Virgo that was all about purify your power. And so Virgo is like, use my gifts. I am the ultimate purifying organizational energy in the cosmos. What do you need to clean in the body, in the mind, the emotions, and in the spirit? So really, it's not too late. You can connect with that energy now through October 15th, when we head on into new moon in Libra. So I'm going to share my screen. I just want to share with you the blog post to show you all the amazing energy and information that you can download from Lunar Ladies, the blog posts this week, every week. I write a blog post every week and I cast a chart every week. The moon is my best client. You can be my client too. All right, merging with your authentic self, third quarter Cancer lunar week happens October 9th, 2020 at 17 degrees Cancer, 5:39 p.m. California time, 8:39 p.m. on the East Coast. We have a cardinal square between Mars, Pluto, the moon, and the sun. And the Libra sun wants you to realize your destiny. Realize your destiny and reconcile and heal both sides of yourself, the shadow and the soul, the ego and the whole self. And I want to bring you back again to the new moon in Virgo. And it was a altar boy with a censer serving a priest at the altar. Now the Chandra symbol for that degree was also, I loved this because I'm like, oh, this is so perfect. Dr. Jekyll drinks a potion. Who's familiar with the Robert Louis Stevenson novel, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Mr. Hyde is the disassociated self, right? And when he drinks the potion, he turns into Mr. Hyde. So again, the sun's reverberating that same message to reconcile the shadow and the soul, the separated self and the united divine self. And remember that, when you're not aware of your shadow self, it goes out and does things. It comments on blog posts. It may be triggered by things in public at the grocery store. It may act out. And what happens when we're in that state of mind, whether it's conscious or not, it filters into the collective, and then it brings the collective energy out of balance, and then we see it manifest as different forms of chaos. And we don't, at this time where we have a really volatile uh, world, we want to be adding harmony and balance rather than chaos and unconsciousness. So let peace begin with you by doing your personal work. Go to a body of water. Cancer is the ocean. If you live near the beach, do reflection there. If you live near a lake or a river or a stream, do reflection there. Or if you just draw yourself a bath and do your reflection while you're in the bath or the shower. So the Libra sun opposes Mars retrograde. That's where you want to go into resolve Mars tension. And then with Pluto and the moon to resolve Pluto tension, go to the moon. And so finally the God Yads. It's a 2-lane highway, a double Yad. And this happens between Chiron, the wounded healer, and Venus, the planet of divine love. And that's one lane. We want to stay in that lane. And the second lane is between the Sun and Neptune, retrograde in Pisces. And so the message is to embody this light-coded, which Yads are lightning in the chart, so they're divine light. They come with coded messages. The Sun, Chiron, Venus, and Neptune are saying, know that your spiritual teachers are here. Neptune says mystical realm, unseen forces are here at work. So begin to believe that, move into the awareness and knowledge of that, and have faith, have confidence, and you are not alone. Ask for their help. This is the week. That's how you stay in the lane. You ask for your spiritual guides' help to come here, right now, and help me. Not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength to do that. Use your sacred tools like oracle cards, guided meditation, watching energy updates, crystals, power animals, anything that you use already to resolve shadows within yourself that are ready to heal. Venus pours the power of love into your soul by increasing your ability to adapt. Adaptability is key, especially in the North Node nodal wave in Gemini, which is 18 months long. Be flexible, be adaptable, be willing to change. Look upon your life as sacred, right here, right now. Don't move from that center. Life is sacred. Your life is sacred. Even when the tough stuff comes up, it's still sacred. Practice acceptance that even spiritual growth isn't always clean and tidy. Spiritual growth comes in many forms, and a lot of times it's a downright mess. So allow yourself to be okay with whatever is happening, because come back to the knowledge that it's exactly how Spirit has designed it for you, even the tough stuff. Overview the last 3 blog posts for this lunar cycle, and that will help you reflect. Move into understanding more about the Widow's Moon. It's about your internal nurturing. The Widow's Moon is passing through the 9th lunar mansion called the Pitcher. So allow heavenly grace to come down upon you. Fill yourself up. Remember, Virgo's message says you cannot serve from an empty cup. Your service is to be a cup that overflows with the goodness and grace of unconditional love. The human design gateway that the 3rd quarter Cancer moon passes through is the gateway of the storyteller or the wanderer. So look at the stories that you tell yourself. What stories do you resonate with? What parables or teachings that you're like, yes, that speaks to me, whether it's from the Bible, Buddhist texts, fairy tales, movies, a good book that you like. Look at, why do I love that? And that will give you a lot of clues as to what you resonate with moving forward that brings you the healing energy you're looking for. The 3rd quarter Cancer moon's message from the Sabian symbol is a hen scratching the ground to find nourishment for her progeny. Focus on this image to give you more insight into the feeling of what is that? Mama hen scratching the ground, looking for food for her young, and it's an instinct to protect and provide for. So tune into your instinct. That fulfillment comes from the pursuing of the right path, and pursue that right path persistently. What is your right path? So you can read more in there. Now the Libra sun is emanating at the Sabian symbol, two men placed under arrest. So we might be seeing something like that in our current events. Let's see. We don't know. Stay tuned. So the solar energy is giving you this message. If you do not reconcile feelings with circumstances, especially outer circumstances, there are serious consequences. So it's saying any external circumstance that creates a feeling within you that you're discharging into the collective, reconcile those feelings because you're adding to the collective. Are you adding chaos or are you adding harmony and balance? Be aware, be mindful, and look more into this Sabian symbol for messages. It's about reconciling that, again, the shadow self. And finally, the wrap up of the Virgo lunar cycle was all about purifying your power. Where are you with that? What did you learn? Can you let go of your old ways of being and let yourself be renewed? The solar light of Libra is here to reflect the power of reconciling your inner and outer worlds. While the Cancer moon says do this through feelings and your peace of mind will follow. So take time to reflect upon your true self and who is he or she in the outer world. Exciting, because as we tune in and move forward into the next lunar cycle in Libra, it's all about balance between self, authentic self, and others. How can I be in relationship to another? Am I going to do it through my own authenticity where I will find divine balance? Or will I fall into the shadow of Aries or Libra that says people pleasing or doing it in the name of something that somebody told me this is the right way to be? What is your authentic expression of divinity, Aries? And bring that into a relationship to another and find your mirror in the other, because you're not looking externally as if all these things are separate from me. You're understanding that all these things I see are a reflection of me. And so we'll be discussing more of that moving into the next Libra lunar cycle. And just a little tip, when we look at the Zodiac Gear that starts in Aries, by the time we get to the fall and the new moon in Libra becomes actually the full moon vibration of the Zodiac Gear. And the Aries Sabian symbol was a triangle with wings. So we're developing our ability to adapt and shift and change and lift our vibration. That's the 2020 goal, is how high can my vibration go? Body, mind, and spirit. So start practicing that on all levels, but most of all in the virtual social media platforms, because your voice, your clicks, your comments, they are adding to the collective. So make sure they're kind, make sure they're thoughtful, critically think, do your research before sharing anything. The best way to learn about what's really going on is to look at the opposing point of view and go, what are they talking about? And I had a wonderful Lunar Lady that says, not who are you voting for, but what are you voting for? And when you really come home into that, what am I desiring to be as what the world is about, you will find that people on whatever side of the fence have the same desires. And that's how we unify and come back to being a more powerful, unified field and move into the Aquarian age where we see each one of one another as our brother and our sister, not separate, but part of us, a mirror reflection of us out into the world. So make it a good one, everybody. Come back next week for the new moon energy update. Bye for now.